we got more creepy crossbreeding experiments. When will scientists stop trying to cross humans with animals? Who knows, but it's certainly creepy to think about. Today we'll be looking at this and much more only in today's video. But speaking of creepy things, I am currently rewatching a documentary titled Confessions of an Alien Abductee on MagellanTV. You guys already know MagellanTV. It is a membership streaming service filled with top quality and entertaining documentaries. They have over 3,000 titles to choose from, and they add new programs on a weekly basis. So there's always something for you to watch, which I love. Now the show I just mentioned, Confessions of an Alien Abductee, don't get me started about it, okay? It will leave you so creeped out and unsettled, but in a good way, because it's also fascinating. Like, do you believe in aliens? Or have you ever seen a real life alien? Because the people in the documentary have. This doc shares stories from a number of people that have claimed to have close encounters with ETs. One of the ladies featured in the doc claims to be the most abducted person in Britain because she claims she has been abducted thousands of times. Then we have another woman who believes aliens altered her DNA and now that she's part alien. Okay, it is crazy and you need to check it out. The best part is that the shows are available in 4K without any additional fees and no ads or commercials. You can even stream it on a number of devices or cast it from your phone to the TV to watch it on the big screen. If you're interested, go ahead and check the link in the description box for a 1 month, yes, 1 month free trial with MagellanTV. We love free stuff. So click the link and unlock Magellan's entire collection of documentaries. Now, let's get on with the video. Starting off this countdown, we have a Zorse. Now, this is a mix between a zebra and a horse, which just why? Scientists are out here just breeding animals that kind of have similar features just to see what will happen and what their offspring will look like, which a lot of people fear because what if we cross the wrong thing and then create a dominant invasive species? Anyways, these animals were created after crossbreeding a male zebra with a female horse. The offspring look more like a horse than the zebra, but they still have their key identifying stripes. The first Zorse was created during the 19th century by Charles Darwin. They are still around to this day but are extremely rare. This is because Zorses are infertile. They can't reproduce on their own. So the only way we can create these animals is if scientists force breed them. In our 9th spot, we have the Zubron. Now, you might be thinking, this is a cross with some animal and a zebra. Well, that's what I thought, but I was wrong. This is a cross between domestic cattle and the European bison, whatever. Zubrons were first created by Leopold Walicki in 1847, but scientists didn't breed the first fertile Zubron until 1960. In fact, after World War I, a lot of people believed that Zubrons were going to replace domestic cattle because they were at a lower risk of developing diseases. So all throughout the 1950s and 60s, scientists were working on creating these animals in labs, which I mean any animal born in a lab always receives backlash and is subject to a number of controversies. But in the late 1980s, the experiments were shut down. Nowadays, there's only one herd left on Earth. Moving on to number 8, we have the humans with animal valves. When humans need to have a heart valve transplant, they have a couple of options. Either they can get a biological heart valve replacement or a mechanical heart valve replacement. Biological heart valve replacements are made from animal tissues, such as tissues from sheep, pigs, cows, even horses. In fact, many people walking around today are able to do so only because their hearts contain valves taken from animals. It's kind of trippy. In our 7th spot, we have Dan and Mary Garry. Dan and Mary Garry are transplant cardiologists who have managed to grow human muscle cells in pig embryos. They are now trying to grow human vasculature in pigs as well. The thing that they are worried about though is having someone's body reject the organs because it contains blood vessels from pigs. Now, how did they go about this experiment? Well, they deleted the genes in the pig embryos that they would need to develop certain tissues. Then they inject modified human cells in there. After 17 to 27 days, the embryos made muscle tissues formed entirely of human cells. Moving on to number 6, we have the Leopon. A Leopon is a mix between a male leopard and a female lion. And I swear every photo of them look fake or edited. It's because Leopons have a head of a lion with its mane, but then a body of a leopard with all its spots. Like, it doesn't look real at all. It looks like someone photoshopped the two animals together. But alas, they are real and low-key terrifying. They can grow to be larger than their full-grown leopard father. Like, they are massive. The first reference to the Leopon was back in the 1st century by Roman author and naturalist Pliny the Elder. But it wasn't until 1910 that someone saw one in real life out in the wild. But again, controversy with these guys is that leopards and lions don't naturally mate with each other. They are forced to breed in captivity together. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the farm cattle. Back in the 1990s, farmers in India were led to believe that if they crossbred their cattle, then they would be able to create cattle that would produce more milk. So they were like, hell yeah, more milk equals more money. Sure, let's do it. So they ended up crossing different breeds of bulls together and with cows. But this had huge consequences for the farmers. In the end, they created cattle that would produce more milk, but needed to be fed more and needed higher quality food, or else it wouldn't produce milk at all. Also, they were more prone to disease, so their vet bills were high. In the end, the cons outweighed the pros. They had to learn this the hard way. Moving on to number 4, we have Hiromitsu Nakauchi. Hiromitsu Nakauchi is a stem cell biologist from Tokyo. He is determined to use animals to produce human cells or organs. Basically, he hopes to grow human cells in mice and rats and then transplant those embryos into bigger surrogate animals like sheep or pigs. Here's the thing, he's got restrictions. If while conducting the experiments the rats or any animal starts to become more human-like, then they have to stop the experiments on them. It's part of the agreement he has with the government. They don't want humanized animals coming into existence, and neither do I. Moving on to number 3, we have the pig embryos. So in all parts of these series, we talked about how scientists like to use pigs for their experiments. Well, here's another group of researchers running tests on pigs. Scientists are currently working on growing kidneys in pigs. This team is collecting small samples of human blood or skin, and then the cells are separated, cultured, and then treated with different drugs. Next, the technician selects a pig embryo that was altered so that it lacks the gene that it would need to grow its own kidneys. So then the human cells were injected into it so it would grow human kidneys instead. Their hope is that when the pigs grow, they can then remove the human kidneys and then transplant it into the recipient's bodies. In fact, in the US alone, around 20 people die every day waiting for transplants, so this could help them. In our second spot, we have monkey-human embryos. I'm telling you, scientists are running too many experiments on monkeys and chimps, and I'm not fond of the idea of having monkeys and humans crossing, you know, hello, Planet of the Apes, no thank you. Anyways, an international team of scientists introduced human stem cells into monkey embryos and maintained these embryos in culture. Some of the embryos lived for up to 19 days, but only a small minority of the ones that had human cells in them did actually survive. And in our number 1 spot today, we have the Grolar Bear. And honestly, I just like saying its name. Like, it sounds funny. Like, Grolar. I love it. Anyways, this is a cross between a polar bear and a brown grizzly bear. I kid you not, sometimes they call it the Pizzly Bear, but it sounds like piss, so let's just stick with Grolar. Now, here's the thing. The reason why these bears are mating is actually really sad. Because of climate change, polar bears have less and less partners to mate with. So out of desperation, they're mating with grizzly bears. It's really sad. It's believed that the first Grolar Bear was discovered in 2006. On April 16th, 2006, a hunter named Jim Martle was out hunting when he captured a Grolar Bear. At first, he thought it was just a polar bear, but officials took a look at it and noticed that it had strange features. Later, it was determined that it was a Grolar Bear. Alright guys, that's all for today's video. Let me know in the comments below which one of these weird hybrid creatures you found the creepiest. And now, speaking of comments, let's move on to our comment shoutout portion. I'll be shouting out comments from the video top 10 weirdest laws in history that actually existed. Kayak1969P commented, "You've forgotten there's a little known law that still exists to this day in England. Putting the Queen's head on a stamp on a letter with her head upside down is classed as treason." I never knew that. So if you have a stamp with the Queen's face on it and you put it upside down on a letter, they're gonna come find you like Liam Neeson. "I'll find you and I will arrest you." A Gale Frame commented, "Hi Lindsay, you really did it this time. You researched everything backwards and forwards. Do you ever have any free time?" The answer is no, I do not. I'm always working. But thank you. I research and script hard. Asan Morrison commented, in Calgary, it's still law that if the RCMP kick you out of the city, they have to give you a horse, a rifle, and a bottle of whiskey. Crazy, but true. I don't know if I believe this. Like, I'm in Canada. Should I just fly to Calgary and then like have them kick me out so I can get a free horse and free alcohol? I want a horse. Wow, okay. All right guys, that's all the comments I'm shouting out for today's video. Make sure to comment something down below for a chance to be featured in my next comment shout out. And as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10 for more amazing videos. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan, and I'll see you when I see ya. Bye.